So, question 17 here. Does anybody have the exact same 17 I have in my book? Does it say PZ Z bar, or did it change that to Z? Does it have U and Z in the same question for question 17? If that's the case, then it's a bogey question because it can only have U or Z. So that question 17, should have a Z at the front. So if everybody just want to put that in now, should say Z equals 4 plus 1, 4 plus I. Everybody okay with that? You can get U, but then the rest of it has to be U. Okay, now here's what happens, guys. Find the real number P. What does real number mean? What does real number mean, Sam? Huh? It means it doesn't have an I. It can be a fraction, a decimal, anything that doesn't have an I in it. Now, what it asks me to do is, whatever this number is, gets multiplied by Z minus Z bar. Would you agree with that? And the answer is 12i. Now, a good way to get attempt marks in a question like this would be to concentrate on the part you know you can do. We all know that if Z equals 4 plus I, we all know we can get attempt marks by finding out the conjugate. 4 minus I. Is that right? Then, following that, we then know that we know how to do Z minus the conjugate. So Z minus the conjugate will be 4 plus I, take away 4 minus bracket 4 minus 4i. So what happens there? The minus multiplies in, and it becomes minus 4 plus I. Now what happens to the 4 and the minus 4? Cancel, and what are we left with? 2i. Now a question that previously looked very, very difficult, all of a sudden, it's P multiplied by 2i gives you 12i. What is P? It is 6. Divide the 2i underneath the 12i, and what happens is the i's cancel. 12 divided by 2, 6. If P was 6, it would multiply the 2i and turn it into the 12i. So that's all we need to know for that one. Okay, if you have a look at question 18, 18 is, once again, looks tough, but isn't actually that bad. You get U, then you find out what U bar is. Anybody tell me what U bar is, the conjugate of U? 2 minus 3i. Can anybody tell me what does U bracket U bar mean? Or sorry, U bar mean? Multiply them. How do you know they meant multiplies them? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I just put down square root signs for some reason. No, me neither. Okay, after that, guys, what happens next? 2 by 2. 4 minus 6i plus 6i minus 9i squared. What is minus 9i squared? Minus 9 minus 1, which is plus 9. What's 4 plus 9? 13. So here's what happens to this question. It says evaluate. What's the word evaluate mean? It's not a solved question, is it? So you're going to have an answer. It's not going to be x equals, or it's not going to be u equals. It's just going to be a random answer. Could take any shape. So that's an evaluate question. Now, what happens to the evaluate question is we're going to get u, which is 2 plus 3i. We're going to add on the conjugate, which is 2 minus 3i. Then we're going to add on the ending, which is the 13. The 3i's cancel. 2 plus 2, 4 plus 13, 17. So that's 17 and 18 done there. Just to show you how to do 19, I won't necessarily do it for you, but just going to show you. CW squared, can anybody tell me what W squared means? It means 3 minus 4i multiplied by. You have to multiply it all out. Then, to do the second part, you got to get minus 6 times 3 minus 4i for minus 6w. And then the last part is w multiplied by its conjugate, which is going to be 3 minus 4i and what's its 3 plus 4i. And what you do is you just combine all the answers together. So the answer to the first one, which is that one there, the minus 6w, and the answer to the very end. You add them all up together, and you show that they're equal to 0. For the likes of question 20 is really easy. If it's a real number, this means no i's. As in, 2 plus 3i is not a real number because there's a 3i there. If the 3i wasn't there, it'd be a real number. And in the same way, imaginary number only. So if I had minus 2 plus 5i, is that an imaginary number? No, it's a real number and an imaginary number. So if it's imaginary number only, it'll just be I on its own. So as an example, to do this one here, it says u multiplied by the conjugate of w. What's u? U is 2 plus I. What's the conjugate of w? W is here, but what's the conjugate of it? 3 plus I. Add on the conjugate of u. What's the conjugate of u? And then what is the w value? Now all you gotta do is multiply it out. 6, 2i, 3i, I squared, which is, anybody? Minus 1. Plus 6 minus 2i minus 3i. What's minus I by minus I? And what is plus I squared? Minus 1. What cancels? And 6 plus 6 minus 1 minus 1 minus 2. The answer is 10. Is 10 a real number? Because there's no complex parts. Okay guys.